Sweet Christmas. Luke Cage, born Carl Lucas and earlier known as Power Man, is a Marvel Comics character created by Archie Goodwin, who wrote the issue, George Tusker drew it, and Billy Graham inked it. Although Lion Man was the first black superhero created in 1947 by Orrin Cromwell and founded All Negro Comics with Harry T. Saylor and Bill Driscoll, but Luke Cage is actually the first black superhero to get his own comic series published by Marvel Comics in June 1972, with superhuman strength and nearly indestructible skin as Luke Cage. Hero for Hire #1. So, get your marshmallows ready and grab a seat at the campfire as we jump back into the rise of Luke Cage, Power Man. Luke Cage is one of the earliest black superheroes to be featured as a protagonist and title character of a Marvel comic book. Created during the height of the black exploitation genre, Luke Cage had been imprisoned for a crime he did not commit and gained the powers of superhuman strength and unbreakable skin. After being subjected voluntarily to an experimental procedure, once freed, he becomes a hero for hire and has 49 issues of solo adventures, comic title renamed to Luke Cage Power Man with issue number 17. In issue number 50, Cage teams up with fellow superhero and fellow New Yorker Iron Fist as part of crime-fighting duo in the renamed title Power Man Iron Fist. He later marries the superpowered private investigator Jessica Jones, with whom he has a daughter. In 2005, writer Brian Michael Bendis added Luke Cage to the lineup of the new Avengers, and he has since appeared in various Avengers titles, becoming a leader of a group of reformed supervillains called the Thunderbolts, and eventually becoming the mayor of New York City at the conclusion of the 2021-2022 crossover event Devil's Reign, succeeding no one other than the Kingpin. Born Carl Lucas and raised in New York City's Harlem neighborhood, he spends his youth in a gang called the Rivals with his friend Willis Stryker. He fights rival gangs and commits petty crimes in and out of juvenile homes throughout his teens. Lucas dreams of becoming a major New York City racketeer until he finally realizes how his actions are hurting his family. He seeks to better himself as an adult by finding legitimate employment. Meanwhile, Stryker rises through the ranks of crime, but the two men remain friends. When Stryker's activities anger the Maggie crime syndicate, he is badly beaten in a mob hit, saved only by Lucas's intervention. When Stryker's girlfriend Reva Connors breaks up with him in a fear of his violent work, she seeks solace with Lucas. Stryker is convinced that Lucas was responsible for the breakup, so he plants heroin in Lucas's apartment. Such a grimy friend. And tips off the police. Lucas is arrested and sent to prison, where contact with his family is sparse due to the resentment of his brother James Lucas Jr., who intercepts Lucas's letters to their father James and eventually leads to each to believe the other's dead. During this time, Reva is killed by members of the Maggie, whose drug Stryker had stolen to frame Lucas in the first place. Lucas is consumed by rage over Stryker's betrayal and his father's supposed death, engaging in frequent brawls and escape attempts. Eventually transferred to Seagate Prison off the coast of Georgia, he becomes the favorite target of a racist corrections officer, Albert Billy Bob Rockham, whose sadistic brutality ultimately leads to a demotion that he blames on Lucas. Research scientist Dr. Noah Burstein recruits Lucas as a volunteer for cellular regeneration experiment based on a variant of the super soldier process he had previously used to empower Warhol. This experiment would later be revealed to be part of the Weapon Plus program, specifically Weapon 6. Burstein immerses Lucas in an electrical field conducted by an organic chemical compound. Then he leaves Lucas unattended. Rockham alters the experiment controls, hoping to maim or kill Lucas. Lucas's treatment is accelerated past its intended limits, inducing body-wide enhancements that give him superhuman strength and durability. He uses his new power to escape Seagate and makes his way back to New York City, where a chance encounter with criminals inspire him to use his new powers for profit. Adopting the alias Luke Cage and donning a distinctive costume, he launches a career as a hero for hire, helping anyone who can meet his price. He soon establishes an office above Times Square Gym Theater, where he befriends film student D.W. Griffith. Burstein, aware of his friend's innocence, adolescence, also relocates to New York City and opens a medical clinic assisted by Dr. Claire Temple, whom Cage begins dating. Although Cage is content to battle strictly conventional criminals, he soon learns that New York City is hardly the place to do so. Stryker himself has become a Maggie agent known as Diamondback and dies battling Cage. Now, with that said, I'm your comic connoisseur at the campfire, so just go full nerd mode by clicking on like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to be notified when new content has been uploaded. Then you will be crowned an official comic connoisseur. I'm Rob for Elm City Comic Book Collectors, and I'm out. Peace. Sweet Christmas.